Hi everyone, this is Kata. In this video, the fourth video of my making journey, I am making the Tytka mid-size duffel bag. It is a really nice pattern for people like me that don't have a lot of experience making bags. This is my first time making a duffel bag. I made this duffel bag for my sister. I wanted to give her a gift. And I ended up making two, one for myself because I had some extra fabric. They were doing a sale, so I bought a little bit more fabric. And yeah. So I know I had said at the beginning of this, if you've watched my first video, the whole point of this year is to use fabric that I already have. But of course, there's some things like this gift that I wasn't able to, I just didn't have the right fabric for it. So I bought some fabric. Other than that, I think I've done pretty well. You can check out my other videos where I actually am using my stash. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the first instruction in this tutorial is to draw this onto half of the circles. I have 8 because I'm making 2 duffel bags, so that means 4. Okay, so it says to do the pocket slit on the wrong side, to draw them. And you have to be mindful of the grain line, which is marked on the pattern. So I made my first mistake, and because I don't pay attention, I went ahead and I cut out the slot or whatever, the little slot that I was supposed to draw instead, because now the original pattern says to just draw it and then stitch in between and cut so that it opens, and this is how wide the opening should be. So I am going to try to fix this. We'll see if it works by just sewing around and then making those cuts that it calls for. And so the opening will be larger than this. I don't think that should be that big of a deal. If it is, I have plenty of fabric left, but I don't think it will be. So I did that. So let's see how this experiment turns out. Hi everyone, so I am this morning, next day, I was able to fix my mistake. I had cut out the rectangle on one of the sides before I put them together, and I basically didn't follow instructions because I was not paying attention. So anyway, I was able to fix it and left basically bigger openings, which is fine. It won't look as nice, but I don't think it's a big deal at all. So I'm okay with that. And they turned out all right. So the next portion is starting with the pocket linings. Okay, so I'm honestly not sure if I made a mistake or if there's a mistake in the original, because they use the same color on the outside and the inside. It's all beige. It doesn't matter which side is the wrong side and which side is the right side if you make a mistake. But for me, this side has to be the side that you can see, right? I'm supposed to put the wrong side up, the right sides together, and stitch, which is what I have done so far. Then it says to open this up and seam and press the seam flat towards the lining fabric like this. That's when you cut this and double stitch, but I didn't do that. Instead of that, I am serging or doing a zigzag stitch and top stitching, which is the next step to top stitch this like that. Then it says to go on the wrong side and fold 1 centimeter like this, and that this part is basically flipped and is put against this part like this. But if I do that, then the inner part of the lining is what shows. Obviously, I don't want that to show because it doesn't look nice. So if you're considering the pattern of the fabric, then the instructions here don't seem to be correct. So I think I'm just gonna follow my gut in this and do one like I think it should have been done and see how that turns out. So I was able to finally finish one of the sides of the duffel bag, and I was right. I can't believe it because I usually am the one that makes the mistakes for not following the pattern, but this time around I figured it out, and there's an issue with the pattern which makes it so that if you follow the pattern as with the instructions as they are, you end up with, if you use fabric like this that has only one side, that has a print on one side, then what you're gonna see in the inner part of the pocket is the back of the fabric, the wrong side of the fabric. I didn't want that to happen, so instead of that, I did it backwards. So this will be on the inside of the duffel bag. I guess it's not ideal, but it doesn't really matter. I think what I probably would have done, I'm not gonna do that now, it is what it is, but what I maybe would have done is to use a full circle simply of the lining. I think that would have been easier, and it would make the inside look completely clean.
So we are on to the next step, which is to add the straps. Of course, do not pay attention to the disorder that I just had you pay attention to add the straps onto the shell of the duffel bag. I'm making two. I don't have tracing paper, so I had to get creative, and I just cut out the places where the straps go. The other option was to measure everything, and it just seemed too slow, so I just cut it out. And now I am tracing it onto the fabric, which isn't that just a lovely fabric? I love it. And then now I am going to start putting the straps. Right, so it is Wednesday. I was not able to do this last night because Max had a tummy ache, but today, it's the afternoon now. We've had an insane day here at the guest house, but everything is pinned. Both shells are ready for both bags, and I am about to sew. So I was able to finish both shells. I think they turned out pretty well. I made a couple mistakes, like I did the crisscross area here instead of up here, so this one has it twice. I ended up adding this thing. I have no idea what this is for, to hang keys or something. I don't know. Originally, I wasn't gonna put it, but then I realized I added this piece and I didn't add it here. So that made me a little, I don't know. So it made me a little something. So I decided to, instead of making these shorter and adding that there so it would look symmetrical, I just ended up adding this little piece here. So I really like how they turned out. Now I'm going to figure out how to put the shell in and the sides, and then there's a Hong Kong seam. I think it's called the Hong Kong seam, where you basically cover the seam with bias tape. And that's about it. Should be done shortly, which means in mom terms, like 3 days from now. Hi everyone. So it's been 24 hours. Max had a difficult night and life has been super crazy today. So I'm gonna sew now. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting the zipper, and here is my second advice for whoever's doing this. The original pattern asks for a zipper that is 50 centimeters. I can't do the conversion in inches right now because I'm too tired, but it's definitely too short. I would say a couple inches too short. So I would do a 60 centimeter zipper if I were to do this again. It's just like, you got to make sure that you put it in the right place so that it's balanced and the duffel bag doesn't come off longer in one side, etc. So here it is, the zipper has been placed. So we're gonna test it on camera. Ooh, this could be bad. Okay. Haha! Looks good. It looks good. It's flowing. It's flowing. All is good. Anyway, this is what it looks like so far. I ended up putting the little tag. So it's starting to look like a duffel bag. I'm really excited. So now,
we'll put the lining. So I ran out of battery while I was attaching the lining to the shell. I was able to do the top stitching. I did it twice. And now all I have left is to attach these tabs. All I did was the original pattern calls for a piece of the, whatever this is, the strap, but I don't have any more. And I don't like this very much, even though it looks good. I don't like it very much. So instead of that, I made 2 long rectangles of the shell fabric, and I'm about to attach them to the ends, to both ends of the duffel bag. And then once I have that, I'm attaching both circles, both ends. So now I'm going to match these two as best as I can with the right sides together. All right, so the battery ran out, but while I was talking. So anyway, I was able to sew in this side of the duffel bag. Now I'm gonna sew the last piece. The only part that's difficult, and this is why I think it's important to have a longer zipper than the pattern calls for, is the zipper portion, because the zipper is a little too short for the length of the duffel bag. Now I am going to have to come in and sort of make the circle of the end smaller in order to be able to come in all the way here where the zipper ends. So that's about it. You can't really tell once you turn it around, so it's not a big deal at all, but that is another reason to make sure that your zipper is longer than what is called for. So here we go. We're going to sew all around, and hopefully it looks great. So in the part of the zipper, remember, go slowly, and then I'm just gonna go back and forth a couple times, and here it is. There's lots of threads to cut off, but it looks really good. Ta-da! This is on the front. Oh, it looks great. Much better than I thought. Yay! Okay, so I still have to do bias tape to cover the seams on the inside, and of course zigzag them just to make sure that when I put the bias tape, nothing comes off and I have to trim, etc. But I'm gonna do all of that tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day. Johnny's leaving the country. There's a family emergency, so I don't know how long I'll be holding down the fort by myself. But everything will be okay, and at some point tomorrow, I will finish this. All right, so I am about to finish this. It's been a very long day, but I'm about to finish now at 7:30 at night. And all I have left is to put the bias tape. I found some bias tape that I had that I don't really like, but it matches the shell color, so I'm gonna put it on. I just trimmed the whole circle, the whole circumference. I'm worried about the part of the zipper because I'm going to go over with the thread right where the metal pieces are. This is why a longer zipper is so important for this project, so that doesn't happen. But I think it'll be okay. And then I am going to go over this part with some bias tape as well, because even though I tweaked the pattern so that this side of the fabric would show on the outside of the duffel bag, I still put the nice part of the seam on the inside. So I'm just gonna cover this because I think it looks really ugly, and everything looks so good that I'm just gonna put some bias tape there to hide it. So that's about it, and then I'll be done. So here we go. Yay! Yeah, it looks like it turned out really well. On this one, because the metal piece was the big one at the base of the zipper, I just simply skipped a couple stitches to make sure I wouldn't break the needle, because I couldn't go around it. So it is done. Now all I have to do, it looks really good, really pretty neat. I feel like the color doesn't clash that much considering that the shell is the same color. So now all I need to do is cover up the
visible seam that I mistakenly left here. It's super visible I mean, it's not like super visible, but it's visible enough to me that I want to cover it. All right, so this is the second one. It looks pretty good on the inside. And more importantly, it looks good on the side of the opening of the pocket. So yay, it is done. It is so done. I'm so happy. It looks really good on the inside as well, well, except for this, but I'm gonna pretend I don't see it. Oh, I'm so excited, I'm so happy. My sister's gonna love this. Ta-da! So as you can see, I ended up adding the button. I think it's a little bit better, just firmer since I made the mistake of making this opening too wide. I just wanted to make sure that nothing would pop out. So to do that, I took about an inch wide piece of fabric, zigzagged all around, and then folded it in 3 parts and then stitched it down. Just opened it and decided to like stick it in there and then do a couple of stitches of lines here to make it nice and firm. And then some of the canvas started popping out here, so I also did a little stitch, a vertical stitch right there. It's barely noticeable, so I don't think it matters too much, but I just wanted to make sure that nothing would pop out. And there it is. I think it turned out really well, and nothing comes out. Please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. And if you're interested in seeing other videos like this one, feel free to subscribe. I have a dress that I made. It was a hat from Mood Fabrics. I thought that came out really well. And then other stuff. If you didn't like the video, I hope you like the next one. I am by no means an expert in video making, but I think I am getting a little bit better each time I make one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. My name is Kata. This is my making journey. Ciao.